Thank you, everyone, for joining our webcast on discovering hidden nuggets of savings in your mailing and shipping operation. I'm Stephanie Benedetto, Director of Product Marketing at Pitney Bowes, and here with me today is Tom Hazel, our expert shipping veteran. Tom has been with Pitney Bowes for over 30 years, and he brings his expert knowledge of shipping information and the challenges faced by all of you in the legal industry. Today, Tom will walk you through some actionable insights on how to best manage the challenges of sending packages and mail in your law firm and ultimately how to save on costs. Without further ado, I'll pass it over to Tom.
All right, Stephanie, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So let me bring up my slide deck. I had it ready and I hit the wrong button. Go figure. So first and foremost, thank you for your valuable time today. You could have been anywhere for the next 45 minutes or so. But you chose to spend it with us, so we greatly appreciate that opportunity. So looking at it from an agenda standpoint, let's first talk about what's changed at UPS, FedEx, and USPS in 2018 and 2019. Do that to set the parameters. Many of you may not be aware of some of the changes, and there were many changes by these carriers that are impacting your bottom line. And then we'll understand together, why your parcel spend may be greater than the announced increases of 4.9% by FedEx and UPS, 5.9% by the Postal Service on average. And then obviously we'll take you into strategies really to mitigate and get those costs down within your organization. So going through the carrier piece is an important part to understand where you stand today, and then obviously working through the mitigation of those carrier increases in cost. At this point, let me turn on my highlighter. There we go. So to kind of give you a framework of what's happening in the parcel world,
Tom, it's Regina.
Pardon me?
Can you go ahead and share your screen for us?
Oh, I thought I was. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No. Yep, no problem. Go ahead and share it.
It says it was sharing. It does say I'm sharing.
Regina, I can see it.
You can see it, Steph?
Yes, I can.
Do you see my highlighter, Steph, then? 1 second.
No, you're not sharing, Tom. Yeah,
Okay.
You're not sharing. I'm advancing.
Oh, okay.
Just go ahead and select the top left corner. There you go. Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks for your patience, everyone. I appreciate that. My apologies. And we even practiced before, Regina. I know. I'm usually good at this. Oh, one of these days it caught me. All right, so looking at what's happening in the parcel world, the growth has been tremendous year on year from 2016 to 2017, and we'll be releasing our next one in the summer months as well. And those volumes are not totally associated with e-commerce, as you may think. Office shipping is on the growth trajectory as well, as we've seen at Pitney Bowes. And U.S. ranks highest at $107 billion from a standpoint of the revenue around shipping. Parcel volume as a number of pieces grew 17% that year to 74.4 billion parcels. On average, 22 parcels shipped per person globally, which is an incredible number overall. So management of parcels, both inbound as well as outbound, can be a great challenge for your organizations. As I said, the announced average increases are down here, 4.9, 4.9, and the post office 5.9. But as we start looking at what's happening with the accessorial fees, delivery area surcharges, residential surcharges, these are tremendous increases over the last number of years. The same thing with address correction, a non-value add overall. So when we look at the changes with FedEx, in September they made some changes around additional handling charges, going from $12 to $20. Unauthorized packages from a standpoint of overweight packages or over-length packages, which likely could apply in your organization, going from $300 per package to $675. And then the January increase, 4.9%, but when you start digging into it, it's quite different, 5.8% for delivery area surcharge on ground and express 5.5. Residential went from an increase of 5.8 to 6%, depending on the service, and large package surcharges jumped up by 12.5%. Address corrections for FedEx went to $16, and they now charge $1 for a return label that is printed out of their application as well. So these are effectively way more than the 4.9 is published. UPS had a very big year as far as rate changes in 2018. And unlike past years with most carriers, they are making increases happen, for that matter, throughout the year, not just at one point in the year. So they introduced something in June called the audit fee. And having spoken to many, many customers over the last several months about this, most folks are not attuned to this. So essentially what it means is if they make an adjustment to any one of your transactions or packages, that's more than $5 in total changes to the invoice, meaning it was a commercial package you sent out as, and it's actually a residential, the weight was incorrect or not included, or the dimensions were incorrect or not included, or there was an address change, they now charge an additional audit fee of $1 per package, or 6% of the total amount of adjustments for that given week, whichever is higher. They also increased their large package by 12%, and they also additional handling went up to 58% to $19. But evidently, there wasn't enough catch in the audit fee, so they reduced the minimum from $5, as you see here, to $2. Again, the same charge, $1 per package, or 6% of the total. Again, these audit fees are relatively new. I was with a very large client yesterday in Tampa in person, and they were aware of them, but most folks were not aware of these audit fee changes or additional costs that are now effective. And then the rate increase went into effect right after the holidays, almost on the dot. And it was the shortest time frame of announcement to any rate change they've ever had in my recent history of all the years I've been following this. And a couple of things here of interest. 4.9% was the average, but they now apply fuel surcharges to all the other handling fees you may add. Additional signature required, adult signature required. Now the fuel surcharges are really touching every bit of the additional fees. But here's one that folks maybe not have caught, and that is if you continue to use an air bill, a paper air bill, and I have seen them as recently as a month or so ago when I was out in Indianapolis. If you use an air bill, they're going to charge you an extra $2 per transaction because there's labor for them to rekey that information to move that package through their system. So air bills obviously are a thing of the past, but they're still being used out there. And they also did increase some of their surcharges around additional handling, 21%. Residential went up 28% there from a large package standpoint, and commercially 19% for a large package standpoint. Over max went up $850. Delivery air surcharge went up 9%. Residential went up 10%. So that when you start looking at your invoices, you're noticing a much greater than 5% average, 4.9 as stated. These are some of the gotchas that are happening today within the carriers, both the two carriers. The Post Office now does announce a package and rate change in January. They've finally lined up totally with the other carriers. Announced at 3.9% for priority, overnight, or express, if you will, their guaranteed service, and 5.9% on priority mail as an average. But I'll show you some interesting stats around that piece overall. They still are offering commercial price discounts, which save 15% at minimum when dealing with commercial pricing, and we'll talk more about that. And that's generating the Intelligent Mail package barcode label for them instead of using meter tapes or stamps. And then with Priority Mail, you also have an opportunity around Commercial Base Plus. So we'll talk through that as well. They do continue to offer negotiated service agreements, NSAs as they call them, but they have to be pretty hefty as far as the volume you're doing overall. More so would apply to an e-commerce organization. First-Class Parcel, a big change here that you may have noticed in your mail centers. We have postage meters. So what they did this year is they included that to be a zone-based product, meaning that First-Class Parcels of the past were the same price no matter where they went. So it still brings great value because they weigh in ounces over pounds, and I'll show you that example. However, they're basically needing to get a little more money as they move across the country. So they've raised that rate 11%, 11.9, and now they zone it. So when they zone it, that means when you meter that package, you have to include the zip code when you ship it within the postage meter. So not only you have to select the service, obviously, but then you have to put the 5-digit zip in like you do for priority mail as well. So they have to all be entered in. But the savings on First-Class Parcel, when you look at commercial rating and doing that package barcode for them saves significantly, 38% over retail rates. Comes out to about $1 a package, so that's pretty significant. Balloon pricing probably doesn't impact you. That's really folks in the lightweight, huge box opportunity, lampshades, pillows, and things like that. But they're applying some different things around that piece as well, and eliminating some services. One other notable change that will happen in June is they will start to dimensionalize all packages at all levels when it comes to priority mail services. So it used to never apply to zones 1 through 4. Now it will apply to all zones overall. And they're moving their divisor down from 194 to 166. So there's an impact there of about a pound in weight. And we'll talk about dimensional rating in a second. So looking at priority mail, like I said, it depends on where you're sending it. So if you're within zone, meaning you're in Philadelphia, shipping to Philadelphia, or Philadelphia shipping to South Jersey, Chicago within Chicago, yeah, you're looking at a 40-cent increase in those zones all the way through here, 40 to 32 cents. But as you move across the country, they've actually reduced rates or negated any increase at all. So they're trying to capture, obviously, opportunity going further across the country and reducing those rates, as you see clearly here, throughout the opportunity and the zones overall. So they're trying to basically entice that business forward from the other carriers. This is a slide on First-Class Parcel. So commercial versus retail. So retail means either you walked into the post office or you used your postage meter and you're not, generating the IMPB, Intelligent Mail Package Barcode Label. But look at the savings here. So retail $3.66, commercial $2.66, and that's all the way up to 4 ounces, which is a 37% savings when you do it. And then you look here, they group together 5 all the way down to 8 ounces, and it's $4.39. Again, $4.39 is the retail rate or meter rate. $3.18 is the opportunity around the IMPB. And then the same holds true all the way through. The savings get stronger because over time and overweight is the difference here. And then when you look at it from a standpoint of going out to zones 8 to 9, you have some other significant savings opportunities within the application too. Because once you go out further, your priority mail costs go up. So once you're down under over 13 ounces, you're playing in the priority mail world, and then your rate goes up significantly overall. So that's a nice little tip in that, looking at it from an ounce standpoint can greatly reduce your cost. So many invoices we look at from the carriers, the submitted weight is 6 ounces, 8 ounces, 5 ounces. The carriers round up to a pound, UPS and FedEx. The post office doesn't. So this is a significant opportunity to reduce cost and save money within your organizations. Just to take a look at what's happening as far as some of these costs, and I have a typo here, it should say 2019. You look at your residential surcharge costs, you look at delivery area surcharge, meaning non-metropolitan, and then your ultra-suburban areas, $4.65, and over here is UPS, as you see as well. There is a fuel surcharge that is adjusted now weekly, 7.5 and 7.75. The carriers move those costs weekly. And then you see your address correction fees, $16 and $16.40 overall. The post office always has a distinct advantage around most of this. They don't charge residential. They don't charge delivery area. They don't charge extended delivery area. They don't charge for fuel. No address correction fees. Right today they don't dimensionalize zones 1 to 4. That will change in a matter of months. But there's some distinct advantages here where you're not incurring these other costs. The residential piece is a huge one, and the area surcharges around residential, as these can pile up very, very quickly, as you see. So dimensionally speaking, what the carriers did in 2015 is said, hey, it's not necessarily how much the box weighs, it's, what is the size of the box taking up space within their planes, trucks, trains, automobiles, if you will. So as an example, a 2-pound package going within your area where you are, would come out as a commercially published rate, you may be discounted by the carrier, of $8.65, FedEx $8.52. But because this is a 10 by 10 by 10 inch box, they dimensionalize all the way down to 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches for overnight, 2-day, 3-day ground, If it's not in their packaging, it is dimensionalized. It moves it up to an 8-pound box, which brings a number across at 1043. Funny enough, in both cases. Then there's the residential surcharge, $3.95. Then the delivery area surcharge. Then we add in the fuel, folks. And that package that you thought was going out at $8.65 is now almost a $20 package. Over here, the same opportunity, right? Very close and money, pennies away from each other, if you will, a couple of times too. Conversely, in the postal world, it won't even be dimensionalized if it's not more than 12 by 12 by 12 inches. So they don't dim under 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. So dim wouldn't even apply in this case. Even when the factor changes, it still doesn't apply because of the size of the box, as you see here. And they don't charge the other fees. So you're getting that box out at $7.10. And it's going to remain that way. No delivery area, no surcharges, no residential, no fuel. So there is some distinct advantages. And although, we don't promote one carrier or the other, we will show you what the sweet spots are within the opportunity overall. So when it comes to taking advantage of intelligent mail package barcodes for the post office, there's just two approaches, right? Either you're going to meter it and apply this lovely label 400 as well as the address label and pay the penalty rate so you can get no commercial discounts, or you can generate what's known as an intelligent mail package barcode label. And when these are generated, they have full address information. They look just like a carrier label, full tracking capability, in fact, up to 11 scans. So they track it from acceptance to final delivery through every postal facility and even down to your local post office. And you do get offered significantly less cost than a retail package in the first-class parcel and priority mail and overnight as well. So you do get free tracking. You do get free insurance up to $50 with your application. So there's nice benefits that are there. And this has been the case since 2015. They just seem to increase the discounts that further encourage the use of those labels so they automate their processes. But, a lot of folks say to me, Tom, that's just dandy, that'll save money, but what about delivery? Well, actually, because of an agreement the Postal has with FedEx, who flies all priority mail, the packages for the post office all around the country. The post office doesn't own a single plane to transport packages. They're actually delivering at a better clip than both the carriers combined. So if you look at a one-day going from Trenton, a package going from Trenton rather, this is the next day delivery area, which is most in New Jersey and a good part of New York and the tad of Connecticut as well. And then you look at the lightest color, blue here, if you will. That's a 2-day delivery all the way out into California and so forth, into Texas and the Carolinas and the Florida. And then the lightest color up here, where I'll never live, and other spots too that are very unpopulated, that's a 3-day delivery objective. Conversely, same package with UPS, that's 1 day, that's 2 day, that's 3 day, that's 4 day, and that's a 5-day delivery. So you're taking 5 days to get across the country when the post office is doing it in 3 days, 5 and 4 if you take Southern Cal into consideration. Looking at FedEx, 1-day delivery. It's a good size 1-day delivery area, by the way. 2-day delivery, 3-day delivery, 4 and 5 as well. So that's speaking to the comfortability in getting the package delivered. The tracking is there, and obviously the cost savings could be significant for you overall. But when it comes to the strengths, both carriers do have significant strengths. So First-Class Parcel is really the cost leader. Looking at anything under £1, they really lead the charge from a cost perspective. They have really aggressive rates when you're in zones 1 to 4, which means, from where you are located, maybe half across the country, a third across the country, depending on population, no matter where you are. If you're in the center of the country, it's to the left and to the right. So they have very aggressive pricing under £5. We just talked about the delivery, obviously. No surcharges for residential delivery at all. No fuel surcharges as well. And they will and only can deliver to P.O. boxes or mailboxes. So by law, they're the only ones that can deliver to mailboxes and P.O. boxes. They do hit out-of-the-way destination. They do have free daily pickup. So they will pick up your packages. And then you have free packaging as well, including tape to close the packages is provided free from the post office. They do have some flat rate box and products, But I'll say to you, be careful with that. If you're only putting a handful of ounces in a flat rate envelope or a flat rate box, you may be better off sending it out as a first-class parcel and use your own packaging. So keep that in consideration. Unless you have lead that you're shipping, who knows, right? And a flat rate box that weighs 25, 30 pounds, if it's lighter than that, you're way better off looking at it from a standpoint of rating it as a parcel and using your own envelope. They do deliver Saturday at no additional charge. During the holidays, they deliver Sunday as well. And holiday season, the carriers do charge a premium during the holiday period. So during the Thanksgiving or Black Friday area of our calendar during the holidays, and during the festivities around Christmas and so forth, both carriers charge additional fees. And it's not that you're e-commerce, you're business shippers, but you're paying a premium, an additional fee during holiday seasons due to their volumes overall. And their tracking really has gotten very, very good with the introduction of the Intelligent Mail Package barcode as well. FedEx is a leader when it comes to technology. Great organization from that aspect. Have done marvelous things and really driven the industry from a technology standpoint. They are starting to offer same-day delivery, so this is becoming more common. There's other companies out there offering same-day too. Notable is Deliv, D-E-L-I-V. They're in 55 major metropolitans and growing. Think about it as the Uber for packages, if you will. So they're coming on strong too as a side note. Heavier shipments for better pricing. Shipments greater than 70 pounds. Postal will not accept that. They can be day specific in their delivery, but you got to be careful with that. A 2-day delivery, they get there tomorrow, is a waste of money. So you got to consider those pieces as well. They do offer flat rate boxes now. FedEx One Rate is known as under 50 pounds. And they have many different guarantees around their services, which is important. Now, from a standpoint of ground and home deliveries, 80% of the U.S. population does fall within Saturday delivery parameters, especially ground home delivery services. UPS have been a leader in the industry for many years. Obviously, same or next day delivery, heavier shipments, greater than 70 pounds, day-specific delivery as well. Again, their guarantees are in place. They do have some opportunity around ground deliveries in many major metropolitans on Saturdays. And they do have a lot of locations, more than double when it comes to being able to go to a FedEx store versus a UPS store. They have double the strength as far as their store locations overall today. But, from a standpoint of correlation, now that you see the costs and what the carriers charge, now you likely see why there's little correlation to what they say as far as impact on the budget, and what you say averages versus actual, and you delineate the two, it's a big difference between them all. So the devil in the end is in the details of what you're sending, how you're sending, what the weights are, what the additional fees are, what the accessorials, residential and delivery surcharge, fuel, and so forth add to the overall package experience, and therefore add to your costs. And in the legal industry, we fully realize that you're trying your best in most cases to charge it back to your clients if at all possible, if it's reasonable and a part of the contract. But many firms have been moved towards flat rates where you don't have individual pieces you can charge back. You can't charge for individual items like the mail, postage, carrier shipping, faxing and things like that. So flat rate is becoming a concern out there for folks. And there's always the house account or orphan account that no CFO in a firm wants to deal with as far as seeing increases around assignment in that regard. So when you look at it from a standpoint of the carriers as a whole, every service decision, every selection really impacts the bottom line for your clients or that house or orphan account within the firm. So when it comes to carrier choices, I have a lot of clients that say to me, Tom, I use UPS, that's all I use. And I'll look at their data, with my sales professional off the meter. We have something called data capture at Pitney Bowes. So data capture tells us exactly what you send, probably volume-wise, and what class of mail you send it. And that's beneficial to you. We can come sit with you and show you you're sending out all these parcels via the meter, spending, say, $20,000, where you can save on average around 25-30%, and obviously save significant money. At 25%, you're saving $5,000 in postage. So a lot of folks don't think they have a multi-carrier strategy when in fact USPS is often used by firms when it comes to priority mail and first-class parcel overnight at times as well. So most clients are in a multi-carrier strategy when they kind of take a sit back and take a look at it deeper. So in the end, when you are sending, you're looking for the best carrier based upon parcel weight, zone, shipment, and dimensions. Service level is important in your industry. Absolutely is. There's certain documents that have to get in folks' hands for legal purposes or otherwise to expedite transactions or move forward with cases, based on delivery objectives. And then you have the commercial versus residential opportunity and how that weighs out within what you do every day. So a couple of tips we put in front of you immediately is, take the time to review your carrier bills. If you do it electronically, both UPS and FedEx provide weekly bills in CSV or Excel format. Then you can download it and you look at it from a standpoint of timing. Look at class of service. What's your overnight versus your 2-day versus your 3-day? Your build weight versus the submitted weight you put into the system. Your zones, your surcharges, and also ensuring that if you do have a negotiated rate, that negotiated rate is coming across. And obviously, both those carriers have online reporting capabilities. But then you also want to take a look further a little bit, and we could do this with you as an organization. How many express shipments do you send that are going locally? Are you sending overnight within the city you reside or very nearby towns? Other services may fall into a better opportunity. So that's an important thing to consider when you're looking at that. And, how many 1 pound or, ground shipments do you typically send to Zone 2 to begin with? There is some minimum exclusion. You receive less of a discount, if you will, below that zone overall. And what percentage of your ground residential shipments are between 1 and 5 pounds? Could they be better serviced? From a ground standpoint, they're going to go because USPS is going to get them there as well. So residential surcharges can be avoided, delivery area surcharges, fuel surcharges. So priority mail could be a play there when you're taking things into a ground consideration, especially in the residential side of the business because of those added fees overall. And then accessorial fees. What are you paying commonly for residential delivery area? The dreaded address correction. So the address correction is highly correctable and it has no value add. The other accessorials are a requirement. Address correction is not a requirement, and it's something that should be avoided. And the challenge we'll also see at Pitney Bowes from time to time is that because folks have their own address books in UPS World Ships and Campus Ships, same with FedEx, they likely, if they have it wrong in the system, will continually send it out to the wrong address on a regular basis. That's why it's in their address book. So these are avoidable opportunities with the proper work with the databases or utilizing the software that we'll talk about in a minute. And then look at your adjustments. What are your total adjustments? If you're a UPS shop, that's all you use, you're going to pay that $1 a package or that 6%. So this is something you definitely want to avoid overall. So that's a consideration that a lot of folks are not comfortable in understanding. But in the end, if there's $2 or more of adjustments, you're going to pay either $1 a package or 6% in the added fee just because they audited and corrected it. So it's an important thing to look at. Other ways you can look at is carrier negotiations. Signing long-term agreements with the carriers may not be in the best interest of your firm or your clients. Carrier rates are changing on a fairly regular basis, as I showed you. It's not just the annual change. So, looking at from a standpoint of their increases, and what that means is that the base rate's still the base rate. If the base rate goes up 5%, you're paying 5% more in base, and your discount comes off the base rate they increased up to. Same thing with surcharges. But most folks don't realize that you can, and clients do, negotiate the surcharges, the accessorial fees, the fees associated with residential delivery versus commercial, the fees associated with extended area delivery coverage and things like that. So you really can negotiate, and in doing so, consideration of USPS is not a bad way to position your firm overall. And even late delivery refunds, can be negotiated. Some folks give those up for an opportunity around a couple more points in discount. You got to look at what it means to you. If you're getting another point and your annual spend is $1,000, that's $10. One address correction just ate up that savings. So consider that piece as well. And review the packaging you use. Educate your folks within your mail center. Educate your staff. Having a lot of empty area in a box is not a good situation. It's just adding to cost because more space means greater size of a box. Greater size of a box means dimensional rating. Dimensional rating means raising you up considerably from a standpoint of weight, approximately 6 pounds to 7 pounds overall. So if you look at a lot of your express letter packs, I do see a lot of them are rated at 1 pound. But what is the rate? I mean, what is the true weight here? Working with one client, the state of Pennsylvania, one of their divisions was sending out, everything was 1 pound in these packages as it went out the door and re-rated by the carrier up, but most of it was 5 ounces and 6 ounces. Moving over to First-Class Parcel with the same exact tracking and tracing capabilities saved them significant amount of money overall, and it could for you as well. The other piece is look at multi-carrier solutions as we offer here at Pitney Bowes. This allows you to shop in a smart manner. Look at the lowest cost of every single transaction. Every single transaction is a fight for your business amongst the carriers. Consider it that way. Many of us today use, hotels.com, Travelocity, Expedia when we, in our own lives, and we're basically having the carriers compete, right? Or the hotels compete, or the car rental companies compete. Why should that be the case with the carriers as well? It's relatively important in this day and age from an operational cost standpoint, impacting bottom line in a positive way instead of a negative way. So a lot of folks on the phone and a lot of folks we talk to in the legal industry have multiple systems. So when you have multiple systems, multiple vendors, a UPS system, a FedEx system, different carrier products, still doing manual return receipt, these are multiple ways of doing business. And like I said, with multiple carriers, maybe even the overnight opportunity as well. And then you're also sometimes involved with meter lease obligations, some of them where you do very little postage. So there's an opportunity to use a multi-carrier system to also generate stamps at the same discounted rate that you get on a postage meter. So there should be some consideration around looking at your meter populations. If you're with Pitney Bowes, call us up. We'll do it with you. And understand where you may have a benefit to use a solution to generate postage electronically, or virtually as we'll call it, versus meter devices. So we want to be proactive with you as an organization overall, that's for sure. And this is all done with increasing volumes in a digital age. That's what's happening today. So when it comes to multiple systems, we're usually pointed in the direction of 3 areas that concern the legal industry. One is compliance risk, right? So, the simple fact of managing a green card. When it comes back, Stephanie takes the green card, puts it in her desk drawer, and that's the end of it. Tom, I may get it back and I may staple to the client's folder. Regina gets it back and she scans the front, scans the back, and puts it on a file folder called green cards on her desktop. That's not good for compliance because there's no structure around that at all. And then the other piece of compliance is, many a firm negotiates and does negotiate with UPS and FedEx together, lands on one or the other, and that's instituted as the carrier of choice, only to come find out maybe months or even years later that all offices have not adopted to the new carrier of choice and are still using the other carrier. So you may not be getting the discounts you thought you'd get because your volume's not where it should be in using that dedicated carrier. And also multiple interfaces tend to confuse. As far as labor, this is a big one for the legal industry. A lot of law firms are still capturing their shipping and mailing costs for client matter billback purposes through manual data entry. This is a day and age of digital where there are ways of doing that without even, dealing with paper anymore, electronically getting that information into your system. And obviously, if you're in the paper environment with the carriers, you're having an opportunity around reconciliation in the bills, looking at the adjustments, looking at address corrections, how do you assign the cost, what are the fees that may have been missed, and how do I add them back in? And obviously, if you're in multiple systems, you really have inability to rate shop, compare rates based on delivery objective. Again, we're not saying it's cheaper, go cheaper, and take longer to get there. It can be cheaper and get there either sooner or within the same exact timeline by using tools to make you, more aware of those facts. And then obviously, if you have a UPS system, a FedEx system, and a postage meter, you have 3 different data silos, right? So very difficult to harness those costs and understand what they are and analyze the opportunity. And obviously, with carrier-provided or free systems, it's very difficult to mandate business rules. The carriers want to make it very simple for anybody to overnight, anybody to use 8:30 a.m., anybody to send things on Saturday, anybody to ask for signature required. These are fees that drive up costs. And are they necessarily recoupable? Not in every instance overall. So it can be a challenge when you look at it from that aspect. Last but not least, when dealing with the carrier side, before we come a little further, is the opportunity around retail versus commercial. So taking advantage of commercial rates, and this is priority mail. Look at a 4-pound package going within zone. If you meter it or go to the post office, it's $8.50. If you automate and send the information electronically and do that label we spoke of, IMPB, it's $7.09. So examples flourish all throughout. This is big money. $12.65 versus $8.95. These are real tangible dollars your organization could be saving. In that case, $3.70 on the 10-pound side of the business. So we want to see that you take advantage of those commercial pricing from the Postal Service as well. The manual green card piece, I think we all know it's 2019, almost to 2018 again, Steph, like I did last week. In today's age, you're still filling out green cards, perhaps front, filling out the back, peeling off the little sticky, putting it on the green card, taking the green card, attaching it to the back of the envelope, taking a label, putting it on the top of the envelope, taking it to the post office or dropping it off and waiting for this to come back from the Postal Service, and then, worrying about what's happening to those cards. That process can be totally automated and has been totally automated for the last 16 years since 2003. And the offering by the Post Office is electronic return receipt. So electronic return receipt eliminates the green cards. Those go away, and this is what comes back from the Post Office in a digital manner, electronically PDF document. It's on their letterhead, date of issuance, and it has the date of delivery, time of delivery, address of delivery, the embedded signature, and if in the application you use to do this, you include a reference number, the reference field actually ends up on the document. So think client matter number, case number, docket number would show up physically on the document, and there's a tool within our app that actually can even name the document by that field, making it very easy to offload it and upload it into your client matter management systems as well. It is an end-to-end opportunity, and it does save $1.20 a piece. From an end-to-end opportunity, what I mean there is it's automating the entire process. It's standardizing the process, eliminates handwriting, and also there's other companies out there that offer something that's a sheet you fill into your printer and it automatically fills it out. There's a piece of software, but you're still paying for those forms and labels, and in some cases you're still paying the penalty rate and not getting the $1.20 discount as well. So there's ways around that to help you reduce costs there as well. But the biggest piece here is the workflow and the automation of the workflow and eliminating error opportunity and standardizing the process from a compliance standpoint overall. So most firms today are not single sites, although we talk to them all the time that are at times. You have multiple sites. Some sites are big enough to have a mail center. Other sites have remote employees, and you have multiple offices as well. So, from a standpoint of managing all this, it can be challenging. So what we put together for our clients is a product that's known as SendPro Enterprise. It allows you to streamline all your shipping and even PC postage activity into one process. And it is actually a cloud-based solution that can be accessed by your entire organization without anything installed at your PCs, without any maintenance by your IT folks and things of that nature. And it's accessible to anybody who has a PC that's connected to the internet that you give access to. So it does consolidate all shipping and postage capabilities in one platform. So that gives you something critically important in your industry, and that's visibility. And with visibility comes control. So it does print first-class stamps as well, in the case where you don't need a hardened meter, as well as shipping labels from one interface. It does let you rate shop, look at multi-carrier opportunity so impacting the bottom line positively. It does automate and standardize e-return receipt as well. And it also captures meter spend along with package stamp spend within one application from a reporting standpoint as well. It does capture cost across the entire organization. So it's not that one office will not be captured. Every office, every location, every remote employee uses it. You're capturing the data. And from a dashboard standpoint, you're getting your spend by a total accounting method. You're automating the back office. You're able to feed that data directly up to your CRM or client management systems and to bill back your customers effectively. And that can happen on a daily basis so that you're not going from a weekly update, you're doing a daily update. So it helps you do a number of things. Update your client bill back opportunities, also helps you reduce spend. So it helps you identify overspenders within your organization. It helps you contain and control costs. Again, this is a cloud-based solution. We do offer single sign-on as one way of authentication in the app. And everything we see here is all offered by Pitney Bowes. We're not using any third-party folks around generating postage. We have our own postage API, e-return receipt, that's our own product, obviously the carrier rating and so forth. So it really ensures that you have a full suite of product within one product overall. One partner, SendPro Enterprise, Pitney Bowes. In the end, it ensures your employees make the smart and compliant choice every time they send, which is the goal. So we'll go live real quick, take a quick second here if we could. Into the application. I'm going to probably have to re-sign in because it's been a little bit. No, not at all. So again, it's just a web browser. So i.e. Google Chrome, Safari, Firefox are the browsers we support, plus a few others. And this is just a sample of a landing page where, okay, I want to ship a package or I want to rate it and create a requisition. Let the mail center finish the process because I don't know the weight exactly, I'm guessing, or I don't know the dimensions, or just create a rec, let the mail center do the entire job. But it also can print stamps right from this app as well. So you have that capability as well within the application to print stamps and also do certified mail in this app. So if I say ship a package, I'll go into the app, and it's a very simple interface. So no matter the carrier, it's always the same interface. So you have your ship from sits underneath here, and it's based upon your user's information. It'll identify the user as you've put them in the system, and also identifies your location. In this case, Marlborough, Mass. Right here, there's also a full address book from a sending standpoint. So if I want to pick an address, we'll go to Niagara Electronics in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, Mushroom Country. You start bringing the address information in. It does have address validation, so it's going to ensure the address is correct. So you're not going to incur that $16 or $16.40 charge. You hit update address, it updates the address that quickly. This is just a courtesy and a demonstration. It does understand residential versus commercial delivery, an important point when you're rate shopping. From a standpoint of the phone number is captured, you have that capability within the opportunity as well. So it understands that. It also has an email address within the application. So you have the opportunity to actually send an email out notifying the recipient that they have a package coming to them. So that's a nice positive feature as well. So it'll communicate to the end recipient that the package has been sent to them, and here's the tracking information. It does have cost center, client matter, cost company code, account code, chargeback capability. That is validated. These are validated fields. So it will validate those fields are legitimate. There's several reference fields: shipper reference, reference 1, reference 2, reference 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you have a lot of reference fields to make use of. Obviously, the weight is either captured or entered, and it does have dimensional rating as well within the application. So once everything's brought in there, you have your address, I put in my cost center, I got my weight, the system uses your account number with FedEx or UPS, and it brings the rates into the application. So there's no rating engine. It's managing the rates through a web services call. So here you see you have the opportunity here for this 6-ounce package going from Massachusetts, if I could say it, yep, Marlborough, to Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. You're ranging from $3.20 up to $51.27. So a heck of a range when you look at it overall. In this case, the rate shop group doesn't include overnight with FedEx. They're just using ground. But a lot of clients prefer this view. So this is our calendar view. So today's the 21st. If you want it delivered on the 22nd, it's $51.27 for 10:30 a.m. guaranteed, as you see. You'll see here it's $46.03. So right there, you have a savings opportunity of $5, a little more than $5 or 10% on that transaction. But wait, a lot of clients will say, you know what, I need it to that office by Monday. So if you're just a UPS shop, you may have chosen UPS 2-day air. And we see it all the time when we look at carrier bills from our clients. That's $25.25 when it could have gotten there with UPS ground at $13.38 on Monday and saved significantly, $12, right? Or Priority Mail delivered on Saturday, or FedEx home delivery. It's a home delivered on Saturday for $12.88. In the case of Priority Mail, we'll select that one. The happening here is it comes out with the postage already on the label. So just like you generate a UPS or FedEx label, it will generate a label live postage that is funded by your Pitney Bowes account, and there you go. You're getting the commercial pricing, you get your estimated delivery date, barcoded and trackable throughout the application. So quite simple for that aspect overall. Great movement through the Stamps app, and you may not see every single app depending on how we design the product with you. So the Stamps app's simple. If it's a stamp sheet, you put the sheet number, the serial number of the sheet. We'll go pop 1, 2, 3, and that's already been used. So it understands when stamp sheets have been used. So if I put in a new number, I get a fresh sheet of stamps. I can choose the quantity. I want 3 stamps. They're going to be first class, 1 ounce, and I can rate it in the application. And it will rate out the same discount you get on your meter. I put in my client matter number or cost center number. Well, wait a minute, I want to do a handful more stamps. So I can add more stamps in here. So, okay, this one's here, a flat envelope, and it is 8 ounces. So I can rate that. And there you go, you're 205. And oh, wait a minute, I have a return receipt certified to do. So certified return receipt electronically, and I rate that, and you're 560. And at this point, you just load the sheet in the printer, and it automatically would print out for you, just that simple and easy. Roll stamp printing, you can move, actually, well, I'm going to do it on the roll instead. We provide a little roll stamp printer, and you see all the stamp values, 205, 560, and 50 cents. I'll hit print in this case. It'll just print these on adhesive labels that are approved by the Postal Service. It's just printing the image on top of those adhesive labels, and then you see the postage there very simply as well. Last thing I'll show very quickly here, I watch our time, is Certified Return Receipt. Certified Return Receipt is an app that people love in this system. Very, very simple to use. In the case of doing Certified Return Receipt, there's 3 methods. You can do a cover letter, which is a control page to a double window envelope. You can generate a certified mail label, or you can use a pre-printed label. So if I'm doing a cover letter, I just select my address information or type it in. I can validate it if I want to, but I don't have to, but I can do it. So it'll validate as well for the Postal Service. I can put in the client matter number, CLM 0909, and then I hit print. And that quickly, I've done a certified return receipt cover letter. This goes in front of the rest of the information going in the envelope, and even the reference field shows up on that document for you. So very simple and very easy. And doing a pre-printed label, it's just going to ask you for the tracking number off the label, so pretty simple there. And obviously generating a label, pretty straightforward. But then you want to view the signature. If it came back, you hit the View app. You can go to the View app and type in the client matter number, say CLM. We'll just put it in CLM for starters. And there is the transaction. You know, right here, we just accomplished through the application. So there is the transaction, and this is where you track it. You can actually track all its movements at the Postal Service, just like you can a package. And you can also show proof of delivery, meaning the signature would show right here on the final delivery piece. An image of the signature does show in the app. You can view it, you can email it, you can download it within the application. So that's the certified return receipt piece in the app. So pretty simple system. It really is effective for the legal community. You know, it helps you control costs, increase your productivity, it provides great automation. And being at several ALA events myself over the years, you know, you are highly keen to automation and digitization of data and things of that nature. So fantastic opportunity from a standpoint of automating, but the cost control piece is important, as well as the compliance piece is highly important as well to most organizations. So compliance does have an opportunity there that you can check the box on, and then obviously providing the cost controls too. So Pitney Bowes, we do offer a complete breadth of product. We have inbound tracking solutions, we have outbound carrier management solutions, and obviously our postage meter solutions as well. So we have a good depth of product overall to service your community, even consolidated payments and financing when it comes to the carrier payments and even postage payments as well. So we appreciate those of you who are with us today or considering us tomorrow. Thank you very much for your business and how you've worked with us. We do have some time here for a few questions, so I'll turn it back to Regina and Stephanie.
Hey, Tom, thank you. Great webinar as always, and I hope all of our attendees also thought the same. So I do have a few questions that came through. Let me just filter a few of them here. Okay, so here's a good one. I buy UPS or FedEx seller rates. How does this impact my negotiating power?
What type of rates do they I missed it.
Reseller rates.
Yeah, so depending on your volume, reseller rates may not be the best place to be. If, in fact, they are, then they are. But in most cases, going directly through the carrier is a stronger play because there's no markup in that the reseller may be participating in when you're getting your rates overall. So I consider having a conversation. I've had several firms, some of them doing some serious volume, some of them doing moderate volume, that are going directly to the carrier, and they're at a better rate structure overall. So I think it's a direct carrier conversation that I would get involved with personally, in my experience.
Okay, great. I think we're going to launch the poll in a minute, actually. So why don't I wait on the questions, and Regina can launch the poll. So if everybody looks at their screen on the top right, you'll see the poll. If you can actually answer the questions, and we'll start to measure everything. Thank you. So I'll read the question for those of you who can't seem to read it. What do you use now to manage the carriers today? Do you use A, a free carrier system, B, air bills, C, multi-carrier solutions on a PC, or D, multi-carrier solutions throughout all sites? And Regina, if there's anything special they need to do, if you can just chime in. Thanks.
Sure, just go ahead and make your selection. And while we're waiting on those selections, Stephanie, you can go ahead and proceed with your questions, and I will show the responses in just a moment.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, here's another great question, Tom. I know you reviewed certified mail. Somebody was asking, I send a lot of envelopes via certified. Are these costs increasing as well, and how can I save?
Yeah,
so 2 parts.
So if you're not using electronic, you had a price increase, no doubt. Now, while they reduced the savings for electronic to $1.20, by going electronic versus manual is still a tremendous savings. As I said, you know, if you're sending it out with a green card on it, it's just you have opportunity around workflow, you have opportunity around time to do it, 3 or 4 minutes. How do you house the green cards once they come back? Do they come back? How do you know they come back? This system also tracks them, letting you know which ones aren't back yet. So there's inherent advantages in addition to the $1.20. But 10 a day, think about it. 10 a day is $12 a day. You know, you're looking at $240, $250, $280 a month you'll save at just 10 a day. So easily can justify solutions with that kind of the savings overall. But quite candidly, the compliance piece should be the larger concern, I would have to think.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, Tom. I agree. So same thing with certified mail. I know you mentioned the system tracks everything, but this person's asking, with certified mail electronic return receipt, where are the signatures viewed? Are they viewed on the application, and can those be downloaded? Yeah,
they're viewed right in the application. I'll bring it back up. I'm sharing my screen. Yes, I am. So right in the app, you can go in here and say Hazel and look up, you know, Tom Hazel's certified return receipt mail. If in fact it was a certified return receipt item, I can click on tracking and look at full tracking. If I want to look at proof of delivery, I'd see the signature right here. The one feature I didn't show is that if you want up to the moment, You can track package or track certify. It'll take you right to USPS track and confirm. Copy, paste the tracking number in there for you and give you the latest tracking information. Works the same way with UPS and FedEx. So it becomes the one-stop shop in working with the carriers from a standpoint of tracking, making sure everything's delivered, see what's outstanding still, see what exceptions you may have, what hasn't been delivered, and you can timeline this as well. And in the reporting app, you can do several things as well, including, pulling your data in an automated fashion to bill back your client matter numbers, but also even checking on every single certified in a reporting structure as well within the application. Great question, Stephanie. You're right.
Great. So here's another one. This is more product focused. So I work for a law firm with 3 offices, and we send certified mail and some packages. So does this product scale easily, and how do I give access to the people in 3 different locations?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. So since it's software as a service or cloud-based, anybody with computer access that you allow to access it, they can access it. So there's gone are the days of installing a program on somebody's laptop or PC. Those days are over with this type of solution. All they need is connectivity to the internet, and they are able to take advantage of the product no matter where the office, even if they're working from home. So think about it. Whether they're maybe ill, but they're still working like most of us do, they could actually do work from home, generate packages, generate stamps, and still continue to get business done, weather related as well, things of that nature. So anybody can access it as long as they have internet connectivity and a PC, laptop, Surface, whatever have you, tablet. Yep.
Great. And I see one more question, and then we can go over to the poll. Okay. So does this product have an easy way to capture shipping costs for each account or cost center? How does that happen?
Yep. So as a requirement of the system, they have to put in their accounting information from a standpoint of chargeback purposes. So if we go here and we look at your desktop shipping, there is a required field called cost center. Let me do what I want to do here. Cool. Cost center, company code, client matter number. So we're capturing that on the fly. Or we can also default cost center by user ID, meaning Tom Hazel's cost center number can automatically be applied based on his sign-in. In the reporting app is where we have all the data. So all the data sits in the Reports app within the application. So I go to Reports app as an example, and I want to see all my accounting data, and I want to see my total cost center chargeback or client matter chargeback. I want to date range it, so I want to look at maybe January, and we'll go to the end of January, and I want to run it. You can run the reporting in Excel, PDF, image, or Word, CSV. That quickly, I can run it. Or I can have it scheduled to run in an automated fashion. So it just runs every night, place it out on the shared drive of your choice, and you pick it up on your side, and you've automated all your bill back and all your billing for UPS, FedEx, DHL, regional carriers, any stamps have been printing, and any postage has been print for package purposes. Great question, though, Steph. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, let's go over to the poll. I think those are all the questions we had. So Regina or Tom, can you see the poll?
I can.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So
actually,
your results for the poll. Oh, you can see them? Okay,
I can see them now, actually. They came through. So let's see here. We had four answers, right? So we had free carrier system was one answer, air bills, multi-carrier solution on a PC, and also multi-carrier solutions throughout all sites. So Tom, we have an equal percentage of 33% for free carrier systems was 33%, as well as multi-carrier solutions throughout all sites.
Oh, interesting.
Air bills, believe it or not, air bills, 22%.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, folks with the air bills, be careful. Besides the fact of the surcharge, they are a blank check. Your account number is on that air bill. So you're essentially giving out your bank account number when it comes to the carrier side of the business every time somebody has an air bill in their hand. So definitely look to automate that piece of your business. Obviously, the surcharge is another reason of call, but I would be more concerned with the fact that your account number is on that face of the air bill, and other persons or other people could use that air bill for other purposes.
Alrighty, and we also have multi-carrier solutions on a PC at 11%.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
That kind of silos the data for you. But if you're only one site, then I guess that's a fine silo. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for today. Tom, do you want to say any closing remarks?
No, I thank you sincerely. You could have been anywhere today, spending an hour with us on the phone in the webinar here. I sincerely appreciate that, and I appreciate your time, valuable time today. So have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Take care. And thank you, ALA, for sponsoring us. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, ALA, and we will be sending out a link to this webinar, I believe, by tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
All right. Thank you. This was great. This actually concludes today's webcast. Thank you all for attending. The recording will be available at legalmarketplace.alanet.org. We will send all registrants an email tomorrow with this link, and please visit our event calendar to sign up for future webcasts.